Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Watchtower Examination. My name is Winston and I've never ever been a Jehovah's Witness. Favoritism is a dangerous thing, can be. Do not ever let a child think, especially a child in a family, that he's a favorite. Do not ever let a child think in a family that he or she is not your favorite child. Favoritism can be dangerous. There's a part of me that does not want to use the phrase, the word, the name, Caribbean man, because I don't want my viewers to believe that Caribbean man is my favorite viewer. But he tends to bring out so much. I am encouraging Caribbean man to start a channel because his mind is it's very sharp, very, very sharp mind. And the things he says, the points he brings out are so profound. I did a recent video 667, where I spoke about the Watchtower distastefully, bringing up on their website that has been proving dull, as I said recently, not as vibrant as it used to be. Went for a 2013 Awake article to put on the front of their website in the midst of protests going on in the UK and mainly in the United States over racial injustice. Puts up this article, "Is protest the answer?" And along with it, a video of an African American woman who said she used to fight for justice, used to have a desire to fight for justice, but she doesn't do that anymore. Caribbean man, there's a point that I did not make in the video. I spoke about when it is so much better when I do a script, because oftentimes when I just stand before the camera and speak, I tend at times to forget what I intended to say. And there's a very important question that I intended to ask in that video that I didn't, and this is it. How dare the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, who encouraged its members to attack the Russian mailing system in their protest against, they call it an appeal, it was a protest and it was an attack on the Russian mailing system. Jehovah's Witnesses are on record boasting that the Russian mailing system will crumble under their pressure. How dare that organization criticizing people protesting? How dare they? And when religious freedom is being attacked by a political organization, isn't religious liberty now a political subject? How can the Watchtower say that it takes no stand on political issues? Because your religious liberty is now a political issue in Russia. You are making a big deal about it and about the persons who are speaking out against it. If you are going to say that it is only God's kingdom that is going to solve the problems, why are you going to court? Why don't you just wait on God's kingdom to solve it for you? But then Caribbean man brought out another question, another point in a comment. Another question. Why doesn't the Watchtower tell its members when they are sick not to go to doctors? Just depend on Jehovah's kingdom to put an end to sickness. As I pointed out in the video, I also know and believe that it is only God who will put an end to the problems in the world. But I'm going to now share that video that the Watchtower featured and give you my thoughts on it. Oh, by the way, before I do and before I go home and forget to have mentioned it, what I just said a while ago is not to suggest that Caribbean Man is my favorite viewer. I was just concerned that mentioning him so often could give that impression. So no, Caribbean Man, love you, but you're not my favorite. And I will not tell anybody who my favorite is. Do I have a favorite?
Growing up in the South, during the time of segregation, blacks and whites, we couldn't mix. And not only that, they had signs to keep you knowing where you're supposed to go. I couldn't understand why we couldn't get along.
50 cent?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Grandma, he's just a boy. Why are you saying sir?
Be quiet. I want you to know your place.
My first comment is a positive comment, but with a negative, important question. The positive comment, I've said it so many times. Ever since I started shooting videos, when I just started, I had no camera and I would just speak and use visual aids. But ever since you people generously gave me a camera and equipment, I started developing an appreciation for video production. And I am so impressed with the videos that the Watchtower does in terms of the props and the acting, and sometimes the acting is poor, but for the most part, especially considering that these are not professional actors, they are commendable. And I like the way they started this video by, going back into the days when there was such racial segregation. You saw that old buggy, the people on the farm, the costumes. It is so good. It is impressive. But the video is only 4 minutes long. And allow me to share excerpt from another video for you.
That preview reminds us of the wonderful convention program of last year, including the feature film about faithful Josiah. What was involved in producing that drama? Please watch the following video that reveals what transpired behind the scenes.
Where do you begin an important project, like the story of Josiah, love Jehovah, hate what is bad? You begin with prayerful consideration. It's a serious responsibility, part of being loyal to Jehovah and His Word. Therefore, many hours of careful research goes into the first step, writing a script. The script is then visualized through a step called storyboarding. But it's not just the script and storyboarding that requires attention to accuracy. Costumes must be thoroughly researched so that their components, styles, colors, and even the types of fabrics appear as historically accurate as possible. The production must also accurately depict the times being represented while making the best use of donated funds. How can this be done? For the story of Josiah, the solution was to film at Bethel locations, such as the studio spaces at Mount Ebo. Set construction began early in 2018. The production team designed and built 3 flexible sets so that with easy prop adjustments, they could be in multiple locations. Even the exterior Jerusalem city scenes were filmed indoors. Many brothers and sisters from local congregations served as extras for the crowd scenes. With an eye to biblical and historical accuracy, the makeup team transformed the actors into characters from King Josiah's time. There were so many details to get right. For a large portion of the drama, filming in front of a green screen enabled the visual effects team to construct accurate environments digitally. Many layers of character action, called plates, were assembled with digital environments to produce complex visuals. For the closing festival scene, which required 14,000 Israelites and many sheep, 3D models were made and duplicated to simulate the large crowd. In July 2018, the production packed up and moved to an outdoor location at Watchtower Farms in Walk Hill, New York.
And action!
In August, the last scene was filmed back at the Mount Ebo studio. After 45 days of filming and with over 4 terabytes of footage captured, the team had finished production. The project moved to the editing facilities at Patterson, New York. But what more could be done so the account portrayed could touch our hearts? A colorist applied a look to the overall film to enhance the picture's quality and mood.
I have to get better. I'm afraid of being alone.
Additional sound effects, such as footsteps and sound of dry grass being rustled, were recorded to make the on-screen action more natural and compelling. Finally, the musical soundtrack was composed, recorded, and added to the movie to enhance the appeal to our hearts. The work on the story of Josiah, Love Jehovah, Hate What Is Bad, was done to strengthen Jehovah's people worldwide.
You're not alone. Jehovah is with you.
This powerful story also assists parents as they teach their children the power of God's word and promise. These words that I am commanding you today must be on your heart, and you must inculcate them in your sons and speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk on the road, and when you lie down, and when you get up.
So that it may always go well with you and your sons after you, because you are doing what is good and right in the eyes of Jehovah your God.
The story of Josiah has proven to be yet another example of how Jehovah continues to provide abundant spiritual food and support for his people worldwide.
So in case you did not know, a lot of work, a lot of effort go into creating these videos. A lot. The Watchtower, therefore, went through a lot to create a 4-minute video. An organization that should be out there spreading the gospel of Christ is putting out so much effort to create a 4-minute video to send what message?
I told her after we got back on the track, like, I'll never hold my head down. My grandmother, she knew I had a love for the Bible because I would always read the Bible as a kid.
Praise ye the name of the Lord.
But I couldn't understand it. I used to pray, what makes us so different? Why we can't live together? I met a group, and this group was like what I really wanted to be in. It was about politics. They said, we fighting injustice, and when they said that word injustice, it was like, yeah, this is what I want to be in, right? Be part of something that can change and make people united, right? That was my goal. We started protesting about police brutality, and I think that's what a lot of people, was focusing on. I liked some of the things that they was doing, but they trained us every day in military training, learn how to use weapons and stuff like that. And so I'm thinking like, this is not what I want to be in. This is not what I enjoy. So I started going back to God again, to reading the Bible, because it's like, I'm not changing anything.
There's something I've been observing with these Watchtower videos, but I never commented on it because I tend to focus more on the important points. You are investing your time to watch these videos, and I don't want to take you off course too much and make the videos long and go touching on every little issue. And so even though I felt not to mention it, just move on, but I've decided to mention it. It appears that the Watchtower, one of the reasons the Watchtower does these videos is to allow Jehovah's Witnesses a little bit of worldly entertainment, to find a way to give them a little bit of it in a cute way.
Generation of Design, premiering tonight at 8:30 Central. Generation of Design, all new season, tonight at 8:30 Central.
Don't watch the movies, don't go to the movies, but give them a little movie. They speak against secular music. But if you can create a few videos and you show people, you can enjoy the secular music and, do not dress in black and look like a gangster. But you get to do it in a movie, you get a chance. They have done so many movies with people smoking and drinking and I wonder why. They speak so much against violence, but there was a particular video. It will take some time for me to search. Sometimes it's hard because these videos tend to come in the Watchtower broadcasts, and you tend to forget which broadcast they appear in. But I remember there was one scene they did with a little boy, and they took him in the middle of a battle. And it's all good props. But you wonder, is it their way of getting them in to enjoy the things of the world? And as I mentioned that, I also thought about another video they did when they are talking about being neutral. And they used a family that went to watch a game. You claim you are not of this world. What are you doing at a game? A sports game. You will not stand to salute the flag, but what are you doing at the game if you are not part of the world? Anyhow, I thought I would just get that off my chest since it has been for some time that I've been observing this and thought to comment. let's continue. Something very important is coming up.
The Bible that I was reading was the King James Version. So I was reading it, but I couldn't understand it. We went to Jamaica, and I saw this Bible, the New World Translation. And I started reading it, and it made so much sense. I could understand it, and it wasn't thee and thou. I was like, wow! You know, like, this is the one I want to get. One day, 2 women knocked on the door. I didn't know they were Jehovah's Witnesses. All I could see was a Bible. And I said, where did you get that Bible from? And they said, well, okay, we'll bring you one. And they did. So they brought me the Bible, but I didn't know I was going to have a Bible study come along with it. The first time I went to a convention of Jehovah's Witnesses, it was like 10,000 people.
2 things. Have you observed that the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society spends more time promoting the organization than it does Christ? Have you observed it? Everything they do, it's about the organization. So this video is supposed to be about something that we will touch on at the end. You will believe that that is what the video is about. But before they can promote God, well, it's actually God and His kingdom. Before they can promote God, before they can promote the kingdom, they must promote the organization. Oh, she saw a New World Translation of the Bible. And when she went to the first convention, it's all about the organization. Now, I do not know who this young lady is. I do not know, well, I'm speaking about when she was young. I don't know her level of education, but chances are, if she's reading the Bible from she was a little girl, and she continues to read the Bible until she is a young lady, chances are she is an intelligent young lady. Now, I also had a problem with the King James Version, but it was never the thee and the thou. What on earth is there that is difficult to understand with thee and thou? Have you heard of the movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Do you wonder what it means? Thou, thine, thee. Any child can understand. However, the King James Version really does use language that is not the easiest to understand, and I had that problem too. And so, I got myself a number of English versions, plural, of the Bible. The New English Version, the New International Version, so many versions. Am I to believe that the New World Translation is the first version that she ever saw that did not say thee or thou? So that she went to Jamaica, and it was sometime after going to Jamaica and finding this unique Bible, the one that doesn't say thee or thou. And sometime elapsed, and she's never seen it again until, wow, alas, some people came to her door, and wow, that Bible, that unique Bible, that special Bible, that one-of-a-kind Bible that I've only seen in Jamaica, wow, where did you get it? Am I to believe that? Am I also to believe that this learned woman who found this amazing Bible that does not say thee nor thou, that she never wondered about this amazing thing and read the preface to see who the publishers are, so that she never knew that it was Jehovah's Witnesses? She was only to find out sometime after, when they knocked on her door. Are these stories that are being presented by the Watchtower organization believable? There is a possibility that it is true. But as for this guy, I doubt it.
When I go in there and I see all these different faces in different color. It's like Jehovah showing me like, hey, Rafika, remember you asked me about all different people getting together and being one? See, I'm not partial. They do get along. We are unified. And it just made me feel so good inside. Yes, this is the organization that I want to be in.
This is an African American woman who grew up in a time of racial segregation. She remembered how her mother, a black woman, had to treat a little boy, a white boy, with respect. But she grew up. She would have seen a transformation in her time. I am absolutely confident of that. Today, while there are protests in the United States, I wonder if this lady is seeing the people of different races coming together to protest over the death of George Floyd. Does she see that? Am I to take it that the Watchtower would want to have people believe that there are Americans who never saw black and white coming together, working together, until they went to a JW convention? That the idea of black and white, the idea of races, different races, people of different colors, working together, was a strange phenomenon to her until she went to a convention? Is that the message that the Watchtower organization is trying to send? And that is why I have a difficulty believing these stories that are presented. They look nice, they look noble, they look admirable, they look gentle. They look believable until you start thinking about them. So she was so impacted by racial prejudice that she joined a movement. Now, had I been in the Watchtower's shoe, this is the message that I would have sent. Tell me that she was investing her time. She decided that she wanted to spend her time to fight injustice, racial injustice, or any other kind of injustice, that she felt that she wanted to make the world a better place. Tell me that she went to the Kingdom Hall and found out that it is really futile. That as long as Satan is in charge, you will always have this sort of problems on earth. And that her time is better spent because every one of us only has 24 hours in our day. And we have to sleep. So we are limited in the amount of time we have to achieve anything. So had she sent a message that since I joined this movement, I found something that is more rewarding, or maybe not even more rewarding, but maybe more important, because racial injustice is bad, but sin is a worse problem. And so I would now like to invest my time to save people from sin, to let them know about Christ. Tell me that. That is understandable. But do not tell me that it was when you went to a JW convention that you saw that blacks and whites or people of different colors are coming together and working together in unity, and so your problem is solved. Your prayer is answered. The justice that you were looking for has now been found. And so the reason I took offense to this video being posted by the Watchtower is that at a time when people are protesting over racial injustice, the Watchtower is putting forward someone who used to be involved in that fight, as though to say to the protesters, stop protesting over George Floyd's death. That is not the answer. Join Jehovah's organization. Because even if that is not the message that you are sending, that is the message that you seem to be sending. And you are the very ones who keep talking about the Lord saying that you must be innocent as doves. You must be tactful in your messaging. This is not the time to be posting that sort of a video on the front page of jw.org. But the video, the short 4-minute video, is not done.
I just see people as people, you know, and I can preach and be friends with anybody. Now that I know what the Bible really teaches, I have a wonderful life, because I know that only God and His government can bring about peace.
If only God and His government can bring about peace, what is Jesus saying when He said, "Blessed are the peacemakers"? Have Jehovah's Witnesses never heard of peace being brokered between parties that were once at war? What planet are they on? And the Watchtower tends to take this line that I find just spurious. Only God's kingdom can achieve world peace. And they use these sort of lame arguments when they are suggesting to Jehovah's Witnesses that they should not vote. I am a Christian and I vote. As a matter of fact, I take politics in my country seriously. I follow politics in the United States now. When election time comes around, I am very much in the fray, in the discussion. And I will actually encourage people to vote for one party over another by telling people why I believe this political party will do a better job. Now, when I go to the voting booth, I do not go there putting my X beside a particular symbol, looking for a political party to bring me inner peace. I'm not looking for a political party to bring me salvation. I am looking on a political party to manage the affairs of the country in which I live. So if there are two parties who are putting forward economic proposals, and I see one economic proposal as better than the other, I am going to vote for the party that is presenting the better proposal to manage the economy. Because this is the country in which I live and the economy affects me. I am not so heavenly minded that I'm no earthly good, that I cannot care about what is going on around me. And if one party is presenting social problems that is going to better affect the lives of the poor over another, I will choose the one that I understand or believe will offer better assistance to the poor. Whatever the issues are, how will they manage health? What are their philosophies on education? This may not be important to witnesses because you do not believe in higher education, tertiary, college, university education. But let us take secondary education. If you belong to a country, you are a Jehovah's Witness, and there are two political parties campaigning. One is offering to for the state to cover the cost of your children's education. And another is putting forward that you, as the parents, even after paying your taxes, must pay a heavier tax, or you must foot the cost of sending your children to school. Would it be a sin for you to go with the party that is suggesting a better option for your children to go to school? And where do you find anything in the Bible that says you must not participate in that process? But I'm just making the point that this argument about politicians can't do this and politicians can't do that, as though they think that people are going into voting booths to vote for people who are going to solve all the world's problems. That is not why people vote. I don't vote for salvation. I don't look to it. It's very, very simple, ladies and gentlemen. For spiritual issues, you turn to a church. For education, you turn to a school. For health, you go to a doctor. You think about a hospital when you're thinking about health. I don't go to the hospital looking for help with financial problems. So if you can't separate, if you can't make that distinction because of this organization that gives you these weird philosophies, you are in a bad place.
Just like how Jehovah unified everybody, I would like for everybody to be unified and come to know Jehovah, just like I know him. Jehovah answered my prayer.
So that's it. All that effort to create this short movie. To send what message? That someone wanted to fight justice and Jehovah answered her prayer because she became a Jehovah's Witness. What was her prayer? She wanted people to be living. What was her prayer? What is this video saying? What is the point that this lady is making? She wanted justice. I wanted to fight for justice. What justice? They specified racial inequality. By the way, there was a mishap and I had to rush home, come back here to shoot. When I got home, I had reason to go back to the video and I saw someone. I left my glasses. It's been a weird day. So now I can't read the name, but someone with an African name also made the very point that Caribbean man made. Very point. So that Caribbean man, you're not alone. Thanks for that observation. Someone also said that there is a report that George Floyd was, quote unquote, a criminal, that he was a drug dealer. I responded to the comment, but I'm going to make the comment here. I really don't want to change the subject from the Watchtower. Even if George was a drug dealer, the job of the police is not to subdue a drug dealer and sit in his neck until he dies. That's the point. Let us not confuse the issue. In closing this video, I just want to happily report that it was just yesterday I shot the video, the last video, speaking to the Watchtower's posting of the article and the video at their front page. And in closing, I asked for persons, as millions of other people have been asking around the world, for persons to avoid the violence and to protest peacefully. It is actually heartwarming to report that today the protests have grown, or it seemed to have grown in numbers from, I didn't spend a lot of time watching, but for a brief moment looking, it appears as though the protests are getting larger, but happily are getting much more peaceful. People have a right to stand up for justice, and the Watchtower knows, because that is what they do when their members are being arrested in Russia. I don't mean that they take to the streets, I mean they take action. They are not neutral when religious liberty becomes a political issue. Not at all. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to press that like button. I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I am also inviting you to subscribe to my other channel, Things Jamaican, that will help to keep this channel going. The links are in the description below. Thanks again. Do come again. Have yourself a wonderful day.
may the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all.